Hi there guys, and welcome to the Footloose Teacher channel. I just want to talk about three things today. I want to talk about what it actually means to be an international school teacher. I want to talk about why you should want to be an international school teacher, or at least consider doing international teaching. And also the how, okay? How can you become an international school teacher? So what, why, and how. These are the three things I'd like to talk about. So the first thing is that when I heard about international teaching, well, I was kind of thinking it was just teaching English overseas, and therefore I would be teaching people who couldn't speak English how to speak English. So I was thinking of English language centres and those kinds of things. I had no idea that there were such things as international schools. I've now been in international schools, teaching in international schools for 23 years. So for me, that is the life of an international teacher. Many people do teach English, and that's something I'm not quite as well informed in, but for me, international teaching is all about getting a job in an international school. Now, why is that so amazing? Well, one of the reasons people really like this whole idea is that, first of all, you're living overseas, you're teaching in an international school, you get to travel in your holidays, okay? So in many cases, you're living in the vicinity of other nearby countries, so you can easily travel, and teachers do have pretty good holidays. The working conditions might be a little better than you're used to back in the public school where you've come from. I know for me, for example, coming from Australia, I spent a lot of time as a teacher working on classroom management, discipline, keeping control of my class. I haven't had to do that so much over the last 23 years. It's very rare that I would actually even raise my voice in a class situation. So I'd say the students are very different. And in Asia especially, there is a lot of respect for teachers. And I've found that that's another benefit. The students are different. They're certainly challenging in their own ways, but I certainly find the job very enjoyable and very rewarding because of the students. The schools themselves, they often pay a reasonable package depending upon where you are and what sort of tier school you're in, and there are various tiers of international schools. But generally you get looked after pretty well, and there are the opportunities to save a lot of money, but of course people tend to also consider travel, and therefore some of the savings get eaten away through travel. So there are lots and lots of reasons for working in an international school or for being an international teacher. I'd say the experiences of living in different cultures are the big things for me. When people say, where are you from, or where did you grow up, in fact, I often sort of struggle when I say, well, I'm from Australia, but I really grew up in Asia, because for 23 years I've been experiencing the world, and that sort of for me was really growing up in terms of understanding the world and sort of becoming a more rounded person, I suppose. So that's a part of the why, and we've talked a little bit about what it is, but how can you actually do this? So I've made another video which is about the 8 different ways that I've acquired international school teaching jobs. And so everyone will have different stories to tell about how they got their first international school teaching job. And then they'll have different ways that they might have gone about that international teaching sort of application process. So for me, it almost came by chance. I was actually on holidays in the Philippines, and I thought, I'll go and check out this school that I've heard of. It was called Brent International School, actually, up in Baguio, up in the mountains. There were no jobs available there, but I left my resume, and as it so happened, a few months later, I had a call from the principal saying, actually, we do have a job for you now. Would you be interested? So that was all about kind of taking initiative and seeking out potential jobs. Since then, I've done various things. I've joined agencies, I've attended recruitment fairs, I've looked at websites, I've sent resumes out, I've flown to countries to have interviews, and there have been lots of different ways. Zoom calls, Zoom interviews have become a thing, obviously, in recent years. There are lots of different ways for getting jobs. But one of the things that you really need to think about is that there are many reasons why you might be perfect for a job, but there are also many reasons why you might not be perfect for a job, and it may have nothing to do with you at all. It could be that the school's looking for a person of a particular age, or a person who is sort of trained in several areas and has that flexibility. It could be that they're looking for a teaching couple, they're looking for a husband and a wife. It could be they even want a family So there are lots of reasons why international schools make the decisions that they do in terms of their recruitment practices. And just because you might miss out doesn't mean that you're not actually a good candidate for an international school job, even if you are applying for your very first international school job. So this channel is going to be all about those three things: what an international teaching job is sort of really all about, why it's such an amazing lifestyle and such a great thing to do, and then how you go about getting that first job and then the next and the next and the next. The great thing about international teaching is that you can actually move countries whenever you want. Not too often, because it doesn't look great if you're leaving jobs and moving countries every year, but every 2 years, maybe 3 years. For me, the sweet spot's 4 years. 4 years in one country is a great experience, and after 4 years, you tend to either stay forever, as some of my friends have done, or you look for another experience, another challenge somewhere else. So that's what this channel is all about, and the videos on this channel are mainly about those three things, as well as a little bit of the travel that I undertake as well, and also what it's actually like living in those countries. So I've lived in the Philippines, I've lived in Singapore, China, Hong Kong, and now I'm in Thailand. So they are the things that we'll be talking about here on this channel. Please like and subscribe, and let's learn all about this amazing international teaching experience together.